The eternal dawn of our penances heralds its imminent end. Each was born to put an end to the other. Now both await, but while yours slumbers, mine remains vigilant. May the miracle bear witness to this oath. By which I remain here for our long-awaited meeting. Wounded by the silence of this secluded existence.
And then, as the city of the blessed name rose up, borne on the shoulders of 3 mighty statues, the resounding beat of a great heart could be heard emanating from the clouds, thundering like the knell of an unseen church bell, raised higher than any other, enchanting us all to lift our gaze aloft in an ascetic call to prayer. For the miracle was about to give birth to a child.
Penitent one, returned from the tomb, and walking among the mourners, your awakening is now written on the eternal pages. Annunciada is my name, and I hail from the heavenly mountains on high, the seat and the beginning of all that is holy, so that I may address you. Look upon me thus as a preceptor in this enterprise, hailing from the highest of all seats. Penitent one, the miracle shall give birth to a new child in a great heart descended from the clouds that watches over the ancient city of the blessed name from on high. You must reach it to stop its birth. But on this ascending path of penitence, the arch-confraternity awaits you. Those penitents that the miracle itself took as its sentinels now await your arrival. Orospina, the Confraternity of Embroiderers. Benedicta of the Confraternity of Endless Orison. Odon of the Confraternity of Salt. Lesmes of the Confraternity of Incorruptible Flesh. All under the dictate of the oldest penitent, the first among them all, who was Eviterno, father of the penitents. Penitent One, the miracle has instilled 3 regrets in the consciences of 3 of its guardians. Only by revealing them shall you achieve the humiliation of the sculpted figures that hold up the city, allowing you to ascend to its upper reaches, and finally to the Great Heart. Look for the Guardians.
Welcome to my most humble of workshops, which is a flurry of sawdust, glue, and varnish. Montagnez is my name, Master Sculptor. One of those who, with steady hand and silver chisel, patiently carve out from the wood the faithful shapes of our true saints, so that they might be contemplated and revered by the devout. No trace of light remains in my glassy eyes, yet still I know what thou seekest and needest. For are we not all penitents on this earth, in some way? The miracle proclaimed that, as my profession was that of a master sculptor, I should carve in wood the figure of the Most Blessed Lady as my last work of art. Penitent One, I beg you help me in this, my final piece of work. Seek out for me the finest chisels and tools, the most wondrous of pigments, and the most delicate of varnishes. And I can sculpt for thee figures that will fit into the altarpiece you carry on your back, like this very one I offer to thee here. Please accept this as a gesture of my unending gratitude. It is but the first piece of many more I shall carve for you. Now I shall place it upon the altarpiece upon your back, and you will feel its grace, but also its burden. The hands of the miracle will guide me in the carving in accordance with the memory you bring me. May they guide thee as they guide me, Penitent One. May the hands of the miracle guide thee, Penitent One.
this heavy curtain that separates sin and confession, crime and judgment, conceals naught but shadows. Here in my darkness there remaineth but tears for me, and forgiveness for those of you who seeketh it. Where are the bereaved now? Where are the repentant? How long since the long agony of this sacrament began? Now that your penance of silence and the pain that plagues your flesh has led you to my dark confessional, let me purge the guilt you bear, and thus alleviate your burden. Penitent one, return when the guilt scorches your brow. I will free you from your burden, for that is my purpose. Penitent one, I will free you.
Who are you, whose face and name you keep hidden? No, your name is of no consequence if your footsteps have led you to me. Yerma is mine own. But this is not the right moment, for the steps that my promise inspires are swift, and the will that directs them unshakable. This hatred, which blinds my reason with shadows. I must leave at once.
Open up the skin and red flesh. Uncover the lie that my shell conceals, for I am only blood and bones. So allow the chalices to be filled with those who toast kings and priests. Now I shall grant thee a new flask. Bring me more vials.
Oh, blessed are we, for I behold a penitent. Humbly allow us to present ourselves to your reverence. We are Medardo and Escolastico, pilgrim merchants and scribes by trade. You never know where precious assets may be. What, pray, can be unjust or malevolent in walking the roads in pursuit of a twofold profit? That of the pocket by selling, and that of the spirit by prayer. While Medardo pays penance in his meditative meanderings, I take care of the business side of things, sparing not a drop of ink to write about the beautiful landscapes of the many varied paths we travel. But go ahead and cast your eyes upon our shop window. The objects that were lost on voyages have great appeal and fascination, as they have become a reminder of the feat itself. Cast your eyes upon our shop window. Until our paths cross again, penitent.
Pray, how can I assist? This mallet is so wonderfully balanced in the hand that it feels quite effortless to move. Know that you have my gratitude, penitent one.
Come closer and contemplate this delicate tumbaga. The embroidered shawls, the silk dresses. You are in Regina's shop. My goods are my home, my bed. They are as much a part of me as I am of them. You point, and this diligent arm will surely grant your request.
The wood is taking shape. I sense how its veins nourish a body that seeks to be wounded with my chisels and hammers, that yearns for the cuts and indentations that will free it from its coarse origins. The altarpiece on your back now has more capacity. Here I will wait for you until you gather more marks of martyrdom to extend your altarpiece. The altarpiece on your back now has more capacity. Here I will wait for you until you gather more marks of martyrdom to extend your altarpiece.
And you may die, perhaps even rot away before my very eyes, but that will not help you. I can wait as long as it takes, long after those insatiable worms have finished their repulsive feasting. In the end, I will discover that secret thou hast been concealing from me since the first dusty cobweb appeared under the eaves of this home. And since the first wrinkle marred thine already pale and bony forehead. But for now, behave yourself. Can you not see we have a guest at our table? Sit down, sit down. Welcome to this humble table. My name is Castula, for that was what my parents so desired. It is a great rarity these days for footsteps to echo through these lonely halls. And believe me, yours have not gone unnoticed. What dost thou seek here? Dost thou crave the same fate that befell so many unfortunates who ended up possessed by the very gold they sought to make their own? Yes, this manor is awash with mysteries, secrets, and curses. If only I could find the hiding place of my brother Trifon's manuscript, perchance I might have at least one less mystery to solve. How deluded you are. Did you think you could keep it from me any longer? Do not listen to this brother of mine, dear visitor. Do not believe his untruths. If we had my brother's manuscript, we would know each and every last one of his secrets.
Oh, sister, stern, terrible Castula, seekest not to deceive me with your detached expression, that serene indifference that becomes thee so well. I know you hear my words, even though the look you return to me arises from the depths of the shadows themselves. Welcome, visitor, to this table of reproach and intrigue. My name is Trifon, for that was what my parents so desired. Payest no attention to my sister's words, nor her silences, but just by looking at her withered face one can sense her malicious smile. No, I am no longer interested in your confabulations. Thine understanding has long been governed by a dastardly imagination. I remember when you had that old blue-green headscarf. It was so soft. You kept saying that it transported you back to other times, to distant memories. If you held it now in thine hands, perchance you might cease with thy constant accusations. You would never have lost it if, just for once, you had stopped rummaging through my affairs.
Penitent one of merciful steps, My golden mask weeps to see you before me. You are in the garden of high choirs. I am another of the holy brothers of the golden visage, born of the miracle. Oh, tireless time that travels without delay and erases the past, conjuring up uncertain futures. Make us remember when the miracle imposed its dark punishment upon us, that which prevented us from soaring and traveling with the breath of the wind. Penitent one, free my brothers who, by the designs of a miracle that already seems a stranger to us, are imprisoned and scattered throughout these lands under the gaze of the great heart that has risen on high. Only they will allow you to climb to the highest point. Help us by freeing more brothers, and we shall reveal to you what the tower holds at its highest point. Help us by...
I feel divine hands guiding my own, in a heavenly struggle of monumental virtue and mute joy. The figure of the Most Blessed Lady is beginning to emerge. May the hands of the miracle guide thee, penitent one.
When darkness descends on my tiles, my lanterns awaken. It is their light that protects us in this shadowy corner full of old rosaries. My name is Sagrario. Knotting rosaries is my penance. And I cannot serve a more virtuous cause than thine own, penitent one. If you give me the knots, I shall increase the mysteries of your rosary, so that they might fill thee with consolation. Do you have rosary knots, penitent one? Now, let my hands knot a new mystery on your rosary. Your rosary now treasures yet another mystery. I shall wait for you to give me more knots to increase the mysteries of your rosary.
May those who seek seclusion enter. Miracle, thee who possess the keys to open all things, and the hands to lock them, welcome thine servant. Penitent one, thee who comest in search of the morning behind our black veils, find my daughters, and snuff out the light of the candles that accompany them. Only then will you be able to enter into their mourning. The vigil is not yet ready, penitent one. Find my daughters, and put out their...
And for your thirst, I am water. For your cold, fire. Oh, make way for he who does not yet know me, who has not yet kissed me. Parishioner, you come seeking mine own sweet blessing. Kneel down and place your lips on my holy sanctity. Valorous, feel how my grace fills thee with joy. I alone am thy refuge. I alone am thy comfort. Blessed are those who venerate me, for they will feel my favor, the favor of holiness itself. Feel your fervor exude from every fissure of your armor, and rejoice. Mine own penitent one, I shall continue to assist you, if you grant me your kisses.
Wayfarer, you stray from your path, making your footsteps mute imitations of our own. Let not these black mists deceive your eyes, for you stand before the procession of shadows. Figure of the sinuous mists, pay us with the false coin, the one with jagged edges and forgotten features. The one that is worthless and desired by none. Thus, we will guide you through the dense blackness to the remotest of places. Now pray, lie
down on the cold stone and let the black curtain envelop you in darkness. Figure of the sinuous mists, pay us with the false coin, and we will go.
To your reverence, I address myself. After seeing myself freed from grief following long years of regret, I dreamt I saw some bees create a honeycomb of sweet honey inside the now empty recesses of my soul. But the miracle does not distinguish between dreams and truth, and my dreamt punishment became incarnate. O creatures of the miracle, what do you want from me? Your reverence's visit to this repentant, punished sinner shall not be in vain. Take this as a gift. If perchance this gift I give you should break, losing its worth, return it to me. This honey, which doth not cease to flow, will be able to undo the damage. Let the bees continue in their sorrowful work. Come back here if my gift should break.
My hands attain virtue through obedience and constancy. I begin to feel them go numb, as if submerged into an icy sea. They move of their own accord. Now they are more of the miracle than of me. The altarpiece on your back now has more capacity. Here, I will wait for you, and...
It pleases me to see you again, penitent one. Behold, you are witnesses to the free will of your own guilt. Is it not beautiful? An immaculate form, born of parents baptized in sin. Penitent one, return when the guilt scorches your brow. I will free you from your burden, for that is my purpose. Penitent one, return when the guilt scorches. I will
This crown of majestic buildings was built to study the awe-inspiring glow that hinted at the shape of a basilica once witnessed by fervent worshippers. No one has ever laid eyes upon it again until now. The miracle bestows its blessing upon us all by revealing to us what has long been hidden, invisible and out of bounds. Cast your eyes upon our shop window. We have no more items left, but you never know what may turn up on these paths. Pray, come back later, penitent one.
Here our wills cross once again, O nameless, penitent one. For a long time now, my life has been naught but a constant struggle to fulfill a promise as old as these lands. Is it your wish to meet her? When I was but a girl, I was able to escape the horror of the deformity engendered by the miracle. A miracle that chose the clean reflection of the still waters of a lake to reveal the truth it held in store for each of those who gazed within it. The old bell, which had fallen to the bottom of the lake many years before, began to ring, making the waters ripple to its eerie chime. Our reflected faces began to distort before our terrified gazes. And the miracle ended up capturing that work, that disfigured horror on the waters, as if it were a fresco, making everything that had been reflected in them disappear. As I fled, I turned my gaze towards the lake and beheld that ghastly event from afar. Penitent one, can you not hear it? We find ourselves in the confines of one of the ill-fated forms of the miracle that yearns to meet thee. Do you wish me to join you in your next confrontation? There you shall find me, and in communion we shall fight.
How dark and uncertain are the rooms where the miracle allows us to see and talk to one another. Even after the deaths, even after the dreams. Penitent One, we are in the Chapel of the Five Doves, and before you prevails the narrative voice of the witness. All that remains of me is testimony, for my deceased body lies exposed in its urn of crystal and gold. You return from the long dream to avoid the birth. You will have need of the uncorrupted tongue that my mortal remains still harbor, whose forbidden whispers will guide thee on the path to such an undertaking. Release the 5 doves, and thus the urn containing my body shall be opened. Wake up now from this dream.
Yes, this is my sister. Castella now seems immersed in her memories. Where have you gone, Castella? In which dream, from which you do not wish to wake, have you taken refuge? The dark sockets of your skull no longer return my gaze. What memories, what old dreams have taken you from us? The dark sockets of your skull no longer return my gaze. What memories, what old dreams have...
I no longer hear your voice. I do not believe you have gone. Is this another of your deceptions?
Penitent One, my brothers will show you a way to the top of the tower. Help us by freeing more brothers, so the tower will reveal to you what it holds.
Penitent One. Our bond led us to victory, but it was not the victory I long for. Is it your wish that I continue with the story of my promise? Indeed, it was the miracle's will that made the bell ring. But it was the lady's sin that brought the curse down upon us. The lady, the most beautiful of women, who lived in the palace by the lake, lived to admire her own beauty, which she believed to be unnaturally divine. The reflection of the lake in which she admired herself returned her own beauty with yet more intensity and splendor, keeping her spellbound for days. Desiring that reflected perfection for herself, she prayed to the lake that no one else might see that reflection. As she looked at her reflection one more time, she saw her face distort to the sound of a terrible tolling that rose up from the lake's sunken bell. Do you wish me to join you in your next confrontation? There you shall find me, and in communion we shall fight.
Be witness to this vigil before my final journey. I, Radames, spent my long life listening to the confessions of so many burdened hearts. Even after death, I could still hear the echo of their mournful voices, begging to be heard again, pleading for confession. But their pain never managed to bring tears to my eyes. One of those echoes, those incessant voices, was the very voice of the miracle, who commanded me to guard its sacred regret. I obeyed, and it was then that my tears did flow. Penitent One, you who come to witness the miracle, behold.
The memory of him still hurts. So it was that a humble married couple, torn apart by their inability to conceive a child, entrusted themselves in their utter desperation to the miracle. A miracle whose light seemed to have gone out in all our hearts. For having long ceased to bathe us in its benevolent radiance, we believed it extinct.
The dying day already puts out its celestial light, causing my eyelids to droop. Let the miracle cast open its black gates, so I might venture to where that terrible dream, from which one never wakes, awaits.
Penitent One, you have encountered one of the 3 regrets. The first part of the testimony of the birth has been revealed to you, and the eminent sculptor figure of the Father has descended. Find the other two guardians. Penitent one, you the first part of the... Find the other...
Penitent one, this is no place for anyone. Can you not see that death breathes the very air that dries our throats? That it walks in our footsteps? You cannot even hear the cries for the dead, for here, even crying is forbidden. I will remain in the shadows, sheltering behind these bars, so you cannot look upon my diseased countenance. But although no one has ever managed to find out who he really is, I can reveal to you a name. Casto. How ominous that name sounds when spoken in these shadowy enclaves. I may have something for you. If so, be sure to take it and go. Go now. I may have something for you. Do you not notice how death enfolds us and shelters us? Do you not notice how it dries up the very tears in our eyes? It is my prison, my companion, my guardian. For all that is dead accompanies me, and all that is not yet dead will soon die and wither by my side. What sins did I commit to merit such a heavy penance? I am the ruin of what I once was. Cursed with the ever more bitter need to survive, I ended up stealing in the foulest of ways. I stole from the rich. I stole from the poor. I even stole from the dead. What crime can there be in taking possession of what no longer has a master? Leave me alone. I feel something devouring me inside, like flies swarming over a dead body. And so it was that I managed to get into a house that appeared to be uninhabited. Inside, I found an elderly woman lying on her bed. She had been dead for some time. There was no one standing vigil over her. She was alone, alone in the deep sleep of death. The fearful stench was so intense that it seemed to emanate from that rigid body and mingle with the light that drifted in through the immaculately pale curtains from the outside street lamps, creating the most dismal of atmospheres I had ever experienced. It was the chamber of death itself. Oh, death, who is ever by my side, you will not have to wait much longer. I robbed the old woman in her bed. I took from her what was no longer hers, but rather belonged to death itself. When I reached my hiding place, I was racked with terrible pangs of guilt that have not ceased to intensify and ever torment my body and mind. What is this trembling you bring me, O death? What is this coldness that I feel, both inside and out? Doth thee already seek me? I robbed the old woman in her bed. I took from her...
So, do you wish to purge yourself of your guilt? So be it. The sacrament has been completed. Now go in peace. A new flower on my mantle. It is yours. I feel the guilt flow into me on the wings of frigid tremors, and my spirit seems numb, submissive. I will continue to serve thee as my purpose dictates. Penitent one, return when the guilt scorches your brow. I will free you from your burden, for that is my purpose.
Welcome to this palace. How silent, how mundane these luxurious chambers have been. Halls that were once frequented by the most distinguished of visitors. They all ended up staying here, captives. Trapped, petrified like golden statues. Prisoners of the very riches they craved. Dance now with my steel, penitent one. We will embroider your flesh in sacred torment, in a tapestry of blood and gold. On guard. Be witness to this vigil before my final journey. I, Orospina, am the daughter of the looms, of the mantle of gold and fine silver and scarlet and white. Eldest sister of the confraternity of embroiderers, ancient secret of the needle and the thread. Where I go, naught shimmers with gold. And my graceful steel will never again adorn the air with its elegant silver calligraphy. Penitent one, you who come to witness the miracle, behold.
But their plea was so humble and true that the miracle, whose lofty reasons are beyond our earthly ken, finally stirred from its slumber, aroused from its repose, and moved by the sweet melody of such noble supplications, it blessed this couple of devout believers, whose faith had never wavered, granting them the child they so desired.
The warm and golden caress of twilight invites me to close my eyes. Let the miracle cast open its black gates, so I might venture to where that terrible dream from which one never wakes awaits. Penitent one, you have known the second of the regrets, and with it, another part of the testimony. The figure of the mother has descended, full of mercy. Anon, the upper part of the city, separated from the rest by the miracle's design, will join the rest. Find the last guardian.
I live again inside this merciless and cold metallic casing. I live in this cage in the shape of what was long ago my body. I live, and I feel that I am directed by forces that undermine mine own will. I live, although when I close my eyes in the intimate darkness behind my eyelids, I am still dead. Be witness to this vigil before my final journey.
My body has been returned to me, at last. I am now master of this flesh, of this trembling, of this agony. How sweet the pain when it is our own. Penitent one, you who came to witness the miracle, behold.
But the miracle, who bestows and wrests away its grace with inscrutable agency, saw its will tarnished in its prolonged absence. Erring in its newly created work, it conferred on that child as much its own as that of another. The blessing of deformity. It spread throughout our land, like a contagion. Its accursed seeds germinating like the wounds that sprout upon the scourged flesh of the repentant.
The dying day already puts out its celestial light, causing my eyelids to droop. Let the miracle cast open its black gates, so I might venture to where that terrible dream, from which one never wakes, awaits.
The full testimony has been revealed to you, and the counterfigure of the witness has at last descended. The three great stone figures of the family have humbled themselves before us all. Raise your eyes as the dazzling beauty of the upper reaches of the city of the blessed name welcomes you. Now go forth. Let not doubt leave its vexatious mark upon you.
Go now. I may have something. Oh, so much death all around me. So many maggots creeping over, so many dead bodies immersed in the mire. So many flies announce the arrival of the rotting queen with their mournful dances and incessant buzzing.
Much time has passed since your last visit, penitent one. You must know that I am a blind man, and yet the miracle has seen fit not to plunge me into utter darkness. More than ever, its divine light shines within me. A fiery glow that outlines with meek compunction the features of Our Lady at the very moment we witnessed the most wondrous act we were to behold in our humble lives. All who were there were blinded by a light, a fleeting flash that compelled us all to avert our gaze, thus casting us into deepest darkness. The remnants of that radiance engraved upon me the merciful visage, beautiful in both form and proportion of Our Lady. Never could I forget it, for I was branded by that fire that burns perpetually within mine own eyes.
Penitent one, be pleased to receive this gift that a candid voice in a dream asked me to give thee. A voice whose owner shall always be unknown to me. O heart that descends from heaven, what doth thou seeketh from us?
The miracle shows us mercy, and bestows upon this shadow the right to speak. Never will I comprehend for what exalted reasons I was chosen to witness and narrate the events by which the miracle sought to return to us. For many eons have passed since it abandoned us. Oh, I see my request was granted, and that blessed pilgrim delivered my offering to you. Cast open the cages whose keys were stolen. Dove, who borrows thine color from the raven, escape your gilded prison.
Endless litany together, whose verses chain us to an everlasting prayer that transcends death itself. Join me in endless orison.
miracle was to create a new icon. An incarnate icon for all to revere. A symbol in which all our faiths, pleas, and hopes might be united in communion, so as to expand its diminished, almost extinct might. Dove, who borrows thine color from the raven, escape your gilded prison. Lacking sufficient mastery, the miracle did fail in its efforts to incarnate, manifesting only in the form of disease, deformity, and pain. It spread more and more of its aberrations, like sores on diseased skin, in many places and on innocent bodies. Dove, who borrows thine color from the raven, escape your gilded prison.
Stop! This sacred place is about to crumble around our very ears. And I have barely strength enough to support the entrance to our chapel. My name is Regula, and this body, which towers over you, is nothing more than the punishment for an abhorrent sin I committed many eons ago. The miracle is just, and granted me the vigor to sustain this threshold. However, after interminable efforts, I feel my strength gradually waning. With each tremor, these merciless rocks sink deeper into my flesh. Should my arms yield to the weight, the shrine will be buried, and the saint never again venerated. For pity's sake, hear my cry. Between the tremors, I am sure I heard the collapse of some of the chapel walls. I am convinced that a passage into the sanctuary has opened up from somewhere within this labyrinth. I implore you, find it before it is too late. Penitent one, find the other entrance to the sanctuary before it is too late. Each new tremor saps my strength yet more. The end, for which I have long yearned, has finally cometh. Bear the countenance of the shroud, to that place where it ought never to have ventured. The statue, the saint.
Penitent one, now that my face has been restored, I may at last speak to you. My devotees will return to this chapel, by virtue of your actions, and the sacrifice of the Blessed One, who will never be forgotten. Oh, Regula, seek my forgiveness no more, for you have it. Now you're by my side, and can rest your weary shoulders in my arms. As for you, penitent one, accept this in memory of Regula. I am forever grateful. May my blessing be with thee. Regula's sacrifice has healed the faith of my devotees. You may go with my blessing.
Penitent one in bitterness, here is the vengeance of the grievous one. My name is Cesario. For asking for milk to flow from this loined breast, for begging for food for this child of mine, cruel grace has manifested itself. I can still hear her sweet voice in the echo that seeks an outlet in these waxen walls. On this earth, supplication becomes punishment, and punishment itself becomes holy and pure. There is no more forgiveness for me, but perchance there might be for my child. Find the wax seeds and plant them before me. In those holes will sprout sisters who will watch over my offspring, while I go wherever the will of the miracle wishes to take me. Find the wax seeds and plant them before me. Find the wax seeds and plant them before... From every seed, a sister of wax shall sprout. Call upon them all to have mercy on my child. Find the wax seeds and plant them before me.
The gaze of an innocent, looking for a glimmer of hope in the visage of so much desolation. It took nay more than that, for the shape of a heart to be molded out of the air itself. Behind the most wondrous clouds that did turn the sunset crimson. Oh, innocent vision, you madeth the mirage true, relying on pure faith. 'Twas then that the miracle gained its last chance. Dove, who borrows thine color from the raven, escape your gilded prison. the gaze of an innocent, looking for a glimmer of hope in the visage of so much desolation. It took nay more than that, for the shape of a heart to be molded out of the air itself. Behind the most wondrous clouds that did turn the sunset crimson. Oh, innocent vision! You madeth the mirage true, relying on pure faith. 'Twas then that the miracle gained its last chance. Dove, who borrows thine color from the raven, escape your gilded prison. Anon this glass sarcophagus shall open, the relic of mine own uncorrupted tongue, and its secrets shall soon be yours. Then this shadow can give thee no more. I go soon to that lodging between light and nowhere. This shall be our farewell. Dove, who borrows thine color from the raven, escape your gilded prison.
The resting time between the thundering beats of the descending heart shorten irrepressibly, thus heralding the imminent birth of the new child. Hasten your steps to meet it, penitent one. The resting time between the thundering... Hasten your...
This waiting, this endless waiting, has been my penance. The original penance, as old as the miracle itself. It appointed me first among penitents, perpetual by its grace, perpetual in awaiting you an eternity. My miracle, heed my prayer. Grant me thine blessing to fulfill thine holy command. Dress my body in wounds, lacerate the tattered parchment that clothes my flesh. For I am the first penitent, and you shall be the last. Now let the crimson bindings finish what they once began. My penance is far from over.
The child is born. The clouds open up before thee and shed crimson tears. Thus begins the work of the High Dramatist. The child, the clouds thus begin.
higher will. Incorporeal and inscrutable fathers, I am the heir of your all-encompassing light. Devotion itself, embodied in weathered flesh and gilded filigree. Your magnum opus. What is this obscure darkness of unanswered cries that prevents me from understanding the purpose of my birth? Are the same crimson clouds that heralded my welcome the grave omen of your judgment? If this confrontation is proof of thy dignity of your glory, then so be it. Now I understand, and for this I offer thee my humble thanks. This pain is my baptismal sacrament that will unite us in communion to make it flesh. Thus, we will be reborn as a new symbol incarnate, overflowing with devotion. The beginning of a new era for the miracle. The second Psalm.
Voluntad superior, padres incorpóreos e inescrutables, soy el heredero de vuestra luz. La devoción misma, encarnada en piel y dorada filigrana. Vuestra obra magna. ¿Por qué, pese a ser coronado con vuestra gloria, censuráis mi presencia junto a vosotros? ¿Qué es esta oscura tiniebla de clamores sin respuesta que me impide conocer el propósito de mi nacimiento? Son las mismas nubes granate que anunciaron mi bienvenida el grave presagio de vuestra contestación. Si este enfrentamiento es prueba de la dignidad de vuestra gloria, que así sea. A mis ruegos respondéis con dolor. Dolor en la carne, mas vuestra misma carne soy. Dolor en el corazón, mas vuestro mismo corazón tengo. Vuestro legado no es otro que mi castigo. Y yo moriré reconciliado con el misterio de haber nacido.
La devoción de tantos se hizo carne y sintió dolor. Esa aflicción llega a su fin, pues el icono cae y con él los designios y la caprichosa voluntad del milagro. Y vos ascenderéis en cuerpo y alma, atravesando reinos soñados, hasta el más santo de los lugares, cuna de todas las bendiciones, al amparo de nuestras miradas, donde quedaréis plasmado en el lienzo de la luz y el tiempo. La penitencia ha terminado.